Imagine living in a city where you are never, ever alone, where every single street, every shop, and every building is packed with people. Welcome to Macau, the most overcrowded yet richest place on the entire planet. Imagine fitting 722,000 people in a tiny piece of land that is just 30 square kilometers, or 12 square miles. To put that in perspective, that's smaller than Manhattan in New York City. This means for every single square kilometer of land, there are 24,067 people crammed into it. It's a world record for population density. But you know what? Despite being so incredibly crowded, Macau is also one of the wealthiest places in the world. How is that even possible? Well, it's all thanks to an industry that is illegal everywhere else in China. So where exactly is this place? Macau is located on the southern coast of China, right on the Pearl River Delta. It's really close to Hong Kong and the Chinese city of Zhuhai. In fact, you can easily travel to Macau by bridge or by boat. Macau isn't just a city, it's a special administrative region of China. This is a fancy way of saying it has its own rules and government, different from the mainland. This special status is because of its unique history. You see, Macau was a Portuguese colony for over 400 years, right up until 1999. This history left a huge mark. You can see it everywhere in the beautiful old Portuguese buildings mixed with ancient Chinese temples, and even in the language. People here speak both Cantonese and Portuguese, but with so many people and so little space, life in Macau is intense. A staggering 97% of people live in urban areas. With so many people and so little space, the city has to build up, way up. The skyline is dominated by towering high-rise apartment buildings, one stacked right next to another. For many, this means living in incredibly cramped and expensive apartments. The property market is very tough. While the term coffin homes is famously used in Hong Kong, Macau has its own severe space crisis. The average price for a home is still a breathtaking $10,600 per square meter, despite recent price drops. So a small 50 square meter, 540 square feet apartment would cost over $500,000 US. For most people, that's completely out of reach. This has created a huge demand for public housing, but the government struggles to keep up. Recently, there was a small shift. For the first time, the number of applications for public housing was slightly lower than the number of units available. However, there's a significant problem. The available homes don't always match the needs of those who need them. There's a shortage of smaller apartments for single people, while there are more larger family-sized units available than families are applying for them. Getting around this packed city is its own nightmare. The streets are narrow and are constantly clogged with traffic from the hundreds of thousands of residents, plus the millions of tourists who visit every year. All these people and vehicles trying to move through a very small area creates major congestion. To tackle this, Macau is constantly working on massive infrastructure projects. They're building new bridges and expanding their light rapid transit LRT system, adding new lines and stations. These projects are huge undertakings involving complex construction and years of work, all to help move people more efficiently. And here's the crazy paradox. Macau has all these problems of a super crowded city, but it also has the money of a rich country. Its GDP per capita is over $77,200, which is one of the highest in the world. So how does a tiny, crowded place get so rich? The answer is simple: gambling. Macau is the only place in China where gambling is legal. This makes it the gambling capital of the world. The industry generates a whopping 70% of the government's revenue. Think about that. Almost every dollar the government has to build roads, schools, and hospitals comes from casinos. This has turned Macau into a playground for the ultra-wealthy. Massive casino resorts like the Venetian Macau, the largest casino in the world, light up the skyline. But this wealth doesn't always trickle down to everyone. The median monthly wage is around $2,500, which is a good amount, but it doesn't go far when housing costs are so astronomically high. But how did this tiny place become the gambling capital of the world? Let's rewind to 1941. Imagine a 19-year-old boy fleeing the Japanese occupation of Hong Kong, arriving in Macau with just $2 in his pocket and the clothes on his back. That boy was Stanley Ho, and he would soon become the legendary gambling king of Macau. Stanley Ho came from a once wealthy family that lost everything during the Great Depression. Hungry to reclaim his fortune, he started small in Macau, trading kerosene and military supplies. But he always had his eyes on something bigger: Macau's gambling industry. By the 1960s, Ho had gained enough influence to win an exclusive gambling license from the Portuguese government. His company, Sociedade de Turismo e Diversões de Macau, STDM, monopolized Macau's gaming industry for 40 years. Ho didn't just build casinos, he transformed the city. He introduced Western games like Baccarat, built iconic casinos like the Casino Lisboa, 1970. and even pioneered a ferry system to bring wealthy gamblers from Hong Kong and mainland China. But his rise wasn't without controversy. Ho was accused of ties to organized crime, though he always denied these claims. Despite this, his empire thrived, and by the time Macau was handed back to China in 1999, Ho's casinos were generating massive tax revenues for the government. In 2002, Macau's gambling industry was liberalized, breaking the monopoly held by Ho. International operators such as Wynn Resorts and MGM entered the market, transforming Macau into the global gambling hub it is today. But Ho fought back, building the Grand Lisboa in 2007. It is a lotus-shaped casino hotel that screams luxury and opulence. It was his way of saying, "Macau still belongs to me." Stanley Ho passed away in 2020, but his legacy lives on. He took a sleepy Portuguese colony and transformed it into the Las Vegas of the East. Today, Macau is a city of unbelievable extremes. It's the most crowded place on Earth, yet one of the richest. It's a glitzy gambling paradise built right on top of a historic cultural gem. It's a place where billion-dollar casinos light up the sky, while many residents struggle with the world's most expensive real estate. But it leaves us wondering, is all that wealth really worth it? Can a city built on bets ever find a more stable future? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you learned something shocking today, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.